Part 3. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi-Sing Cao. Chapter 22. Close to the place where the sun shines, there is a wild jujube tree with many wild jujubes on it. He Tian carried a basket to pick jujubes. After a while, he picked a basket full. Because the land here is fertile, jujubes grow very big. He Tian pulled some more wild vegetables and covered them with some. Later, he would send some to the educated youth point so that they could try them too. It's not strange for Li Duoduo to eat her food, so no one will deliberately try to make things difficult for her. Seeing that it was getting late, He Tian rolled her eyes again at the Snake King who was swimming happily in the puddle. What's the matter with the Snake King? It's obviously just a small loach and a small puddle, and it can make the Snake King happy to miss you. It's getting late, I have to go back, He Tian said. It would be better not to go with her. She wouldn't have to bleed heavily, and she wouldn't have to spend time with a little silver snake every day. The Snake King was so angry when he heard what He Tian said. This woman is getting more and more aggressive now. How dare you? The Snake King flew over, stood on He Tian's shoulder, and spit out the snake letter. If they don't agree with each other, they will show off their power. He Tian is no longer afraid of this little silver snake, but she still can't accept the mollusk being so close, so she turned her head and said, "You are so happy in the water and don't want to leave, okay. The spring there is pretty good." The Snake King took a few glances at the green spring water and said reluctantly, "You must bring me here more often in the future, and I will give you benefits." He Tian shrugged and said, "You have been with me all day, and you know what the situation is now. I have to work, so how can I run to the back mountain all day?" The Snake King looked at He Tian, then reluctantly looked at the green puddle, and thought for a moment, then you can find a job that allows you to go up the mountain, and I can get some for you. Look at the food. Just when He Tian was extremely reluctant and wanted to refuse, there were two fat rabbits with gray fur lying motionless on the ground. He Tian is so happy, rabbit. Fat rabbit, she hasn't eaten meat for a long time. Hurry up and catch them, the Snake King said angrily. He was a little dizzy because he used his mental power to control the two rabbits. But this stupid girl didn't rush to catch the rabbits. She waited for the rabbits to break free and ran away. Ah! He Tian put down the basket and ran to two wild rabbits a few meters away. One in each hand, they were tied with ropes. "Oh my, the food can be improved," He Tian said happily. These two rabbits weighed more than 10 kilograms, which was enough for her to eat several meals. It's just that it's bright outside now, and if she is seen walking down the mountain with the rabbit in such a swagger, the villagers will definitely be jealous. He Tian didn't just arrive in Kijia village. She had lived here for too long in her previous life and had a bad temper towards the people in the village, so she didn't dare to let others see her without permission. But if she doesn't take it back, how can she eat the meat of two rabbits? He Tian was in a dilemma. The Snake King couldn't stand it anymore and said scornfully, "Can't you just knock the rabbit out and put it in the basket?" "Yes." He Tian's eyes lit up. "The jujubes are delicious, but they are not as delicious as the meat. Put the rabbit on the bottom, put the wild dates on top, and put some wild vegetables." She was not familiar with the people in the village, so even if others saw her getting a basket of things, they would just think it was wild dates and weeds. As for wild jujubes, there are still a lot of them on the tree. Next time I will get a big backpack and pick more. Just as he was told, He Tian took a stone and knocked out two hares quickly. Little Silver Snake then took a high look at He Tian. This soft and weak girl was quite scary when she was ruthless. Little Silver Snake didn't know that He Tian opened a braised meat shop in her previous life. She had to kill chickens and ducks with her own hands and deal with these little animals without blinking an eye. It's not that He Tian has no compassion. She can't even live her own life well, so how can she have the energy to care about and sympathize with other people or other animals? He Tian Tian put the rabbit underneath, put some wild dates inside, stuffed it with wild vegetables, and tied it to the end of the rope. After He Tian Tian climbed up along the rope, he pulled the rope up and pulled the basket up. The little silver snake continued to cling to He Tianation's left ankle and slept peacefully. He Tian Tian walked down the mountain with the basket in her arms. Along the way, He Tian Tian speeded up and walked very fast. It took less than half an hour to reach the bottom of the mountain. It was so fast that even a strong man in good health would take more than an hour. After such a long journey, He Tian Tian was not tired at all. As expected, the Snake King did not lie to her. Although he met 3 or 2 villagers, He Tian Tian knew them, but not in this life, so he lowered his head and left quickly. When he got home, He Tian Tian washed her hands and hurried to pick up Grandma Chi-san. Grandma Chi-san still had half a basket of cotton husks left to peel. When she saw He Tian Tian coming over, she smiled and said, "Where have you been?" "Haha, I went to the back mountain to dig some wild vegetables and make some cold dishes at night," He Tian Tian said while helping to peel the cotton husks. Zhao Dejiao saw He Tian Tian coming over and said, "You can see that he knows how to live a good life. He has a lot of work to do at home." He Tian Tian smiled but said nothing. She didn't do much work at home, but after coming to Kijia village in her previous life, she never had any leisure time in her life. Grandma Chi-san smiled and went back to talk to He Tian Tian in the evening and asked her to prepare some things to send over so that she could get a lighter job when the work is divided tomorrow. If it were other educated youths, Grandma Chi-san would not say anything. But now Grandma Chi-san wants He Tian Tian to live with her and be her companion. Naturally, she has to give this little girl some good care, lest she is too young to understand the world and be assigned to live the same life as adults and die from exhaustion. After finishing the work, He Tian Tian helped Grandma Chi-san go home. Living with Grandma Chi-san, there are some things that cannot be hidden from Grandma Chi-san. "Grandma Chi, when I went to dig wild vegetables today, I caught 2 wild rabbits." He Tian Tian arrived at home and told Grandma Chi-san. Grandma Chi-san was stunned, quickly closed the door, and whispered, "Who else knows?" He Tian Tian also whispered, "I put it in the basket, covered with wild vegetables. Only the 2 of us know, no one else knows." After hearing this, Grandma Chi-san breathed a sigh of relief, nodded and said, "You are right, the fewer people know about this kind of thing, the better. I will skin these 2 rabbits later, pickle one, and pickle the other. Just fry it and send 1 bowl to Village Chief Chi's house and 1 bowl to Zhao Dejiao's house." He Tian Tian was stunned, she didn't expect Grandma Chi-san would arrange it like this. Seeing He Tian Tian stunned, Grandma Chi-san sighed in her heart. She was a child after all, so she didn't consider things comprehensively. She explained, "It's hot and the meat will go bad easily if you don't marinate it. The reason why I asked you to give 1 to Secretary Chi and Zhao Dejiao bowl, because they are responsible for arranging work for young people in the city. If they benefit from you, it will be easier for them to arrange work in the future. My wife is not using your things as a favor, but for you to be in the village in the future. Live better." He Tian Tian listened and was convinced. If she could get the help of Secretary Chi and Zhao Dejiao, she would be willing to give these rabbits away. "Thank you, Grandma Chi. I was young and really didn't think of these things. Fortunately, you reminded me," He Tian Tian said with sincere gratitude. She heard Grandma Chi-san's kindness. "This is Mr. Zunman. My grandpa passed away and I went back to my hometown to attend the funeral. In the past few days, I have been updating regularly, and I will definitely update more when I return from my hometown." The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 23. As the old saying goes, listen to others and eat enough. He Tian Tian is a child who can listen to other people's opinions and will be good in the future. Seeing that He Tian Tian understood, Grandma Chi-san said happily, "My child, you are still young, Your parents are not around, and you have both good and bad intentions. Although you live with me, you are not from Kijia village after all. People, if you are free tomorrow, you can give some jujubes to other young people in the city. If anything happens, those young people in the city will not isolate you. People, never leave the group at any time to advance or retreat. More than enough. He Tian felt warm in her heart. Grandma Chi-san was really a good person. Her tragedy in her previous life was due to her cowardice, evasion, and unwillingness to contact others. Over time, she became invisibly isolated from the young people in the city and had no friends. This is why Chi Jiangguo's lies and schemes succeeded step by step. Yes, He Tian said, I made a note and will send some wild dates to them tomorrow. Grandma Chi-san was sitting on a small stool, cleaning wild rabbits by the ditch on the edge of the yard. I marinated one and took it to the utility room to dry. I chopped the other into small pieces and fried rabbit meat in the evening. This rabbit is very fat. One rabbit chopped up a small pot full of it. Grandma Chi-san made a fire and taught He Tian how to cook rabbit meat. She also put in some long beans and simmered them for a whole pot. After cooking, Grandma Chi-san took out 2 large plates and put them in the basket. There was no time to eat, so he took He Tian to the home of village chief Chi and Zhao Dejiao. Originally, Grandma Chi-san wanted He Tian to send it there herself, but she was afraid that others would see and gossip about He Tian behind his back, so she changed it to take He Tian with her. Fortunately, village chief Chi is in the row in front of Grandma Chi-san's house, and Zhao Dejiao, the women's director, is next door to village chief Chi's house. Village chief Chi heard that He Tian caught this wild rabbit on the mountain, and he said with a smile, Tian girl is lucky, she is a lucky one. Yes, even if you kill a rabbit, you are too embarrassed to eat alone. Grandma Chi-san said, this child is sensible and young. When arranging the work tomorrow, please ask your eldest nephew to take care of him. Seeing that there were no outsiders at home, village chief Chi immediately decided, third aunt, don't worry, my daughter is the same age as this girl and is so sensible, so she will naturally take care of her. I will take care of it with the others tomorrow. That's good, Grandma Chi-san said, there is another bowl here. I have to send it to Ergoza. It was not easy for the child to run around for me yesterday. He Tian sighed in her heart. Zhang was very old. She had lived such a long life in her previous life, but she was not so comprehensive in doing things. Grandma Chi-san didn't say she was asking Zhao Dejiao for help, but said she was grateful to Chi Ergu, which made village chief Chi feel very happy. Grandma Chi-san also expressed her request to Zhao Dejiao, and Zhao Dejiao immediately promised to take care of He Tian and arrange easy work for her. After sending off to both families, Grandma Chi-san and He Tian went home for dinner. Grandma Chi-san's teeth are bad, but the rabbit meat has been simmered in the pot until it is stewed, and it is very easy to bite. The two of them were full and still had some left. Grandma Chi-san asked He Tian to put more salt in it and get some beans to fry together tomorrow morning. It would still be edible. At this time, there is no habit of not eating leftovers and throwing them away. Early the next morning, He Tian had breakfast, sent Grandma Chi-san to where she was working, and then went to the village branch. On the way, He Tian met Huang Jingli, Lin Ziru, and Li Mingkai. Tian, are you used to it? Huang Jingli asked. If you are not used to living in a fellow villager's house, you can come back and squeeze in with us. He Tian knew that they were just talking and not sincere, but she still had a grateful expression on her face and said with a smile, thank you, Sister Jingli, I'm quite used to living in Grandma Chi's house, no need to. I went to your place to squeeze in. It's so hot and I have to work during the day, so I can't sleep well at night, so that's not good. Lin Ziru covered her face with both hands, not wanting to be exposed to the sun, and said, yeah, it's really hot, and there are a lot of mosquitoes. I don't know what kind of work they will arrange for us. It's not the busy farming season, so there won't be any heavy work, He Tian said, looking at the rice and corn in the fields, weeding, fertilizing, and catching insects. I hope so, Huang Jingli said. By the way, did you know? Li Mingkai can play the accordion. Come over tonight and listen together. The accordion is so amazing, He Tian pretended to praise. In his previous life, Li Mingkai used that broken accordion to attract many little girls in the village and young women in the city. In the end, because he didn't want to work, he married Qi Xiaoyan, the daughter of village chief Qi. At least I don't have to do heavy work and I can have enough to eat. Later, when he heard that he could return to the city, Li Mingkai wanted to go back several times, but was suppressed by village chief Qi. Unexpectedly, after Li Mingkai was admitted to college, he left the countryside and abandoned Qi Xiaoyan. Hearing praise from others, Li Mingkai felt proud. As long as he played the piano, no one disliked him. Soon we arrived at the village branch. The village party secretary Qi, the village chief, the village accountant Qi Shulai, the women's federation director Zhao Dejiao, the 2 village captains, and 5 important people from Kijia village were all here. Sit down. Based on the research in the village, we have made the following arrangements, village chief Qi read while holding a red leather notebook. Huang Jingli and Lin Ziru joined the weeding and insect catching team. Li Mingkai joined the canal cleaning team. He Tian joins the livestock team. He not only has to feed the animals, but also cleans the team every day. Huang Jingli and Lin Ziru saw several other urban young people in the urban youth spot. They had to go to the fields to pull weeds at dawn, and their bodies were cut with marks from corn leaves. It's hot and it's not a good life. As for Li Mingkai's cleaning of drains, it is not an easy job. What a sweet job, it is even dirtier. Working with those dirty things all day long is not only dirty, but also tiring. He Tian was overjoyed when she heard about the animal husbandry team. The animal husbandry team is at the foot of the mountain. If you are herding sheep or cattle, you can still go up the mountain. With the Snake King here, He Tian is not afraid of encountering powerful animals on the mountain, and she can often have the opportunity to improve her food. Do you have any opinions? Qi Shulai said. If you have any opinions, you can raise them now. If you have no opinions, let's go to work in the fields now. They all said that it had already been discussed in the organization, so it didn't matter if they had opinions. No, several people replied. They have to work anyway. There are other examples of young people in the city, and they don't dare to be arrogant and refuse to work. They heard from other young people in the city that in the past, those young people in the city were lazy and the food they were given was not enough to eat. Those who worked hard were given more food. In order not to go hungry, they also have to work hard. Okay. We'll take you each there, village chief Qi said. He took Li Mingkai to the place where the canal was being repaired. Accountant Qi Shulai took Huang Jingli, and Lin Ziru went to the weeding team. Zhao Dejiao took He Tian to the animal husbandry team. When he saw the people walking away, he whispered, "You may think that the animal husbandry team is very dirty, but it is not dirty. There are 2 people there who raise 10 pigs and 4 pigs cattle, and a few kid goats. Others will do the hard work. You just need to take good care of the sheep and raise the 6 sheep." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Qi Xing Cao. Chapter 24. Zhao Dejiao explained to He Tian alone that it was also because of the bowl of rabbit meat last night. In the eyes of other young people in the city, the livestock team is unwilling to do any work that involves excrement and urine. Only real farmers know that compared with other jobs, this job is lighter. This time, Secretary Qi and Zhao Dejiao arranged for the sheep herding to be more relaxed. In his previous life, He Tian was the same as Huang Jingli and Lin Ziru. They did hard work, pulling weeds and catching insects, and were scratched on the face and neck by corn leaves. The wounds on their hands were all red, burning, and painful, and the pain became even more painful when they touched water. Compared with those jobs, the job of herding sheep is very leisurely. As long as the sheep are driven to a place with rich green grass halfway up the mountain, they can take a lazy rest. Before coming back in the afternoon, just cut another bale of grass, which will be enough for the sheep to eat at night. Thank you, Director Zhao. I know you are doing it for my own good. He Tian agreed happily and said, I will work hard and will never embarrass you and Secretary Qi. This activity suits He Tian's idea, and he can often take the Snake King around the cave in the future. The Snake King is in a better mood, and her benefits are also great. Zhao Dejiao was very happy to see that He Tian was so smart. She liked talking to smart people. Zhao Dejiao told the other members of the animal husbandry team to let He Tian know what he was doing. He sent He Tian here and said, Uncle Qi, Sister Lu, this is He Tian, the new young man in the city. He is in charge raising sheep. She is new here, please tell me if she does something wrong. It goes without saying that I will lead her to work well, Aunt Lu said with a hearty smile, looking at He Tian up and down. Hearing Zhao Dejiao's introduction to He Tian and knowing that He Tian is only 18 years old this year, I felt a sigh of relief. She didn't understand why. It was pitiful for a girl to leave her home and parents in the city and come to the countryside. Okay, Tian, you can work with Aunt Lu. If you don't understand anything, just tell Aunt Lu, Zhao Dejiao said. I have something else to do, so I'll leave first. Director Zhao, walk slowly. He Tian smiled and said to Yan Yan, very polite. They sent her here in person and explained so much to her on the way. It was out of kindness, and she appreciated it. In the animal husbandry team, Old Man Qi, who is almost 70 years old, is in charge of the 4 cows. He is not responsible for cleaning the cowshed, but he has to stay here at night and look after the animals, and Aunt Lu, who is in her 40s, is responsible for a few cows. Pigs, weeding pigs, cleaning pig pens and cows' heads and sheep pens, doing more during the day, so that she can go home at night without her having to look after these livestock. Originally, these little goats were raised by Aunt Lu, but now that someone is assigned to help, it saves her a lot of trouble, and she is naturally very happy. Sweet girl, those sheep are still small. If they are let out, they will run around. You can't go out to herd the sheep, Aunt Lu said, you and I will clean up this place. You watch here while I go to kill the pig weeds. That's great. He Tian nodded and said, okay, Auntie, you can make arrangements. Old Man Qi had already driven 4 cows and wandered out, regardless of hygiene. He Tian and Aunt Lu were cleaning together. Originally, Aunt Lu would have thought that He Tian was from the city and would dislike the place being dirty and unwilling to work. Unexpectedly, He Tian took out a towel to cover her face and tied it on the back of her head, then picked up a shovel and started shoveling the cow dung on the ground very quickly. A diligent child is liked everywhere. With He Tian, Aunt Lu will have a lot less work in the future. After a while, the cowshed, pig pen, and sheep pen were cleaned, washed with water, and the excrement was carried to the manure pit not far away outside. This cesspit is a treasure. In the absence of chemical fertilizers, without this, the fertility of the land will not increase and grain yield will be very low. The ant looked up at the sun. It used to take her 2 hours to complete this, but now with He Tian's help, she could finish it in just 1 hour. I'll go out to mow the grass later. Today's task is completed, and there is still a lot of time to rest. Aunt Lu purred a few times and drank a whole enamel jar of water before she smiled and said, sweet girl, I'm going to cut the grass. You can watch from here. Don't let anyone steal it. Okay, Auntie, you go mow the grass in the morning and I'll go in the afternoon. Auntie loves me, but I can't tire Auntie, He Tian said in a crisp voice. Auntie Lu is not a bad person, except she likes to talk about people's faults. No bad intentions. It's quite interesting for her to talk about people's right and wrong, but they all say she doesn't like them. Now that He Tian is so diligent and caught her eye, Aunt Lu will definitely praise He Tian outside. When Aunt Lu heard this, she became even more happy. Her big dark face smiled like a flower, and she said repeatedly, "Okay, you are really sensible, just do as you say." Aunt Lu carried a huge backpack and hummed a little tune as she went to cut pig grass on the back mountain. He Tian was bored by herself, so she cleaned up the area around the livestock team. Feeling a little thirsty, I went to Old Man Chi's makeshift kitchen to get some water. Oh my God, everything above and below the stove is dark and dirty, and there is a strange smell. He Tian couldn't stand such a place, so she wiped all the pots and pans clean. Forget it in the morning, drink water later when you get home. She forgot the military kettle her mother prepared for her when she came out today. She filled it with water in the afternoon and must take it with her. After He Tian finished all this, Aunt Lu came back carrying a large basket full of grass. Old Man Chi also drove 4 cows back slowly. After coming back, Aunt Lu saw that the place was much cleaner than before, and she smiled and said, "Uncle Chi, sweet girl is so diligent. The front and back of this house are clean, and your pothouse is finally clean." Old Man Chi is almost 70 and has a strong body, but he is missing one hand. Although it can live on its own, it is not as flexible as 2 hands. He was very cold to He Tian in the morning, but when he saw He Tian helping him clean the pothouse, he gave a rare smile and said, "Thank you very much." He Tian shook her head and said, "You're welcome, Grandpa Chi, I'm just sitting here, so I just brushed it off." Aunt Lu looked at the time and wanted to go home to cook for lunch. "It's hot now and I can still sleep at noon, but I don't want to stay here any longer. Uncle Chi, let's go back first and come back in the afternoon." Aunt Lu put the grass in the house and took He Tian back to the village. On the way, Aunt Lu said as she walked, "Sweet girl, Uncle Chi has a cold temper, but he is a very nice person. If you help him with the housework, he will not treat you badly." "Aunt Lu, actually I just did it casually without any thought of repayment," He Tian said. In fact, He Tian was secretly happy. This old man Chi is not an ordinary person. He has fought in the war and made meritorious service. Capable of people. While performing a mission, he lost an arm. He was unwilling to cause trouble to the country and insisted on returning to his hometown. Although he is a sloppy old man now, the relationship behind him is not slovenly. Every month, he will send money to Old Chi from the commune's exclusive account, and he will distribute rice, noodles, and publish without any votes. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 25. Aunt Lu liked He Tian's hard-working and sweet mouth. She always gave He Tian some tips along the way, which benefited He Tian a lot. "Sweet girl, if you have time in the future, please make some food for Uncle Chi. I used to be busy and didn't have time, so I only cooked it occasionally," Aunt Lu said. "He is a lonely old man who is very pitiful. He has no wife. I have no children, and I'm missing an arm, so it's inconvenient for me to do things, so I can help if I can." He Tian nodded and said, "Okay, from now on I will often make it for Grandpa Chi when I have time. These are all small things, and He Tian is very good at them, so they are not troublesome." After looking around and seeing no one around, Aunt Lu whispered, "Uncle Chi is not an ordinary person. Not only does he have work points in the village and can get food, he also receives a lot of good things from the commune every month. You give him cooking is an indispensable benefit to you. This is not all, because Uncle Chi has high prestige. Even the village secretary Chi Dazo respects him, and the people in the village also respect him. As long as he treats you well, you will be a little girl in the future. In Kijia village, no one dares to bully you. He Tian was happy that the whole morning's hard work was not in vain. Aunt Lu encouraged her in every way. Although she knew she had to curry favor with old man Chi, she was also grateful for Aunt Liu's kind reminder. Thank you, Aunt Lu, he Tian said with sincere gratitude. If there is any benefit in the future, she will give some to Aunt Lu. She wanted to take revenge on Qi Jiangguo's family, and she couldn't do it alone, so she needed help from some people. But now that I have just arrived, I can't rush anything. I need to settle the relationship with some people in Kijia village first and then look for opportunities step by step. You're welcome. You're only 2 years older than our girl. It's not easy for you to leave your hometown. Don't mind if I say a few more words to you. Aunt Lu saw that he Tian was sensible and listened to her words. If you feel a sense of accomplishment, you will inevitably say a few more words. You are doing it for my own good, why would you dislike it, he Tian said, talking and laughing with Aunt Lu all the way back to the village. It only took one morning, and I have established a good relationship with 2 colleagues. I have a good start. I believe that the future work will be smooth. He Tian went to pick up Grandma Chi-san, who was shelling the cotton shells, and helped Grandma Chi-san back home. Yes, in just 2 days, he Tian has already considered Grandma Chi-san's home. Old one, I hope he Tian can accompany her and take care of her by the way. The younger one hopes to find a place with Grandma Chi-san to help her open up the situation in Kijia village. The 2 complement each other and bring out the best in each other. Grandma Chi, sit down for a while, I'll go cook. He Tian helped Grandma Chi-san into the house, brought water and towels, and wiped Grandma Chi-san away from the heat. Don't be in a hurry, just eat something, Grandma Chi-san said, feeling sweeter than eating honey. Now that the 2 of them eat the food together, there is no one else, and Grandma Chi-san is not worried about he Tian eating it secretly. He Tian made gnocchi, added green vegetables, a little oil, a little salt, soup and water, and had it for lunch. Grandma Chi-san had bad teeth, so it was best to eat such a meal. She was very satisfied and let he Tian cook from now on. Now she can't give he Tian anything good. If he Tian would always treat her like this, when she died, she would give he Tian the box of gold and silver jewelry that she had secretly hidden before. Otherwise, she would have given he Tian a silver hairpin. After dinner, Grandma Chi-san and he Tian took a nap at home. As long as it is not busy farming and the weather is hot, you can get up early in the morning to work, take more rest at noon, and go back to work at 2:30 in the afternoon. He Tian poured hot water into her army green kettle, slung it across her body and carried a bamboo basket. She sent Grandma Chi-san to the place where she was peeling cotton shells, and then hurried to her feet. When old man Chi saw he Tian coming, he smiled rarely. Here he comes. Here we come, he Tian said, putting his bamboo basket aside and carrying the big basket that Aunt Lu had carried in the morning. Grandpa Chi, I went to mow the grass. Aunt Lu will be watching here in the afternoon. Don't be lazy, know how to advance and retreat. This kid is good. Go ahead, old man Chi nodded and pointed to the west, go over there and there's a lot of green grass. Your Aunt Lu has already cut a lot in the morning. It's okay if you cut less in the afternoon. Thank you, Grandpa Chi, he Tian agreed and walked up the mountain carrying the big bamboo basket. Although old man Chi said so, he Tian couldn't be lazy on the first day of work. If you are diligent now, you will leave a good impression on others. If you are lazy in doing things in the future, others will not tell you. Now we are a large collective, and everyone works like this, working hard. Everyone knows that working hard is a waste of time, but if you have a reputation for being lazy, you will become the object of discussion and contempt by others. In his previous life, he Tian was not lazy, but was young, weak, unable to do the work, and always failed to complete the tasks, so he was always discussed by the people in the village. She is good-looking and literate. These advantages cannot be matched by the big girls and young wives in the countryside. But just because she is not good at work, He Tian cannot keep up with them. In order to prove that they are better and more powerful than He Tian, they often talk about He Tian and other educated youths, looking for a sense of pride. Seeing that there was no one around, He Tian speeded up and came to the green grassland that old man Chi had mentioned. He Tian was not tired at all. She thanked Uncle Snake more than once for improving her body. If she had just walked here before, it would have taken an hour, but now it only takes half an hour. The terrain here is relatively flat, but there is a lot of mud under the feet, so the trees and grass are very lush. Just such a large piece is enough for He Tian to mow for a week. Old man Chi is also a good person. He Tian mows the grass with her head down. Even though the sickle is not very sharp, it does not affect her cutting speed. If the sickle was sharp, it might be faster. In less than an hour, He Tian had cut several large piles of grass, and the baskets were full and solid. He Tian saw that it was early and there were some fresh wild vegetables lying around, so she dug some, blanched them, and made a cold dish for old man Chi. After doing this, He Tian rested on the mountain for a while, and then went down the mountain carrying the bamboo basket. It's easy to go up the mountain but hard to go down the mountain. It took He Tian half an hour to go up the mountain and about 45 minutes to go down. Aunt Lu smiled when she saw He Tian coming back carrying more grass than she had in the morning. Oh, this girl is good at work and has good strength. She will be much more relaxed in the future. Hurry up and put it down, Aunt Lu said, it's more cutting than I did this morning. You girl, you are too honest. Aunt Lu said this, but she was very happy in her heart. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Xing Cao. Chapter 26. He Tian took this sentence as a compliment. He Tian smiled honestly, it's nothing, I just wanted to get some more so that if the weather is bad tomorrow, it can last the whole day. That's right. We not only need to cut fresh grass now, but also prepare some hay for the cattle and sheep to spend the winter, Aunt Lu said, you go and take a rest, and I will clean up the grass you cut back. Thank you for your hard work, Aunt Lu. He Tian smiled, picked up her water bottle and took several sips. After drinking, He Tian didn't rest. She went to clean the wild vegetables and made a cold dish for old man Chi. Old man Chi was very happy and said, haha, sweet girl, I'm sorry to bother you. I have a piece of private land over there. I grow vegetables and I can't finish them all. You can take some home to eat. Aunt Lu was not polite and just went about her business, saying, I'm not polite, sweet girl, go and see if there are any cucumbers, beans, gourds, loofahs, etc. that are growing in the yard. Hey, He Tian agreed. Old man Chi gave her some benefits, probably because he wanted her to help him with food more often in the future. After all, one hand was inconvenient. He Tian just saw the dishes and chopsticks in the kitchen. Although they were washed, they were not clean. He Tian couldn't stand the sloppy look the most, so she cleaned it up while washing the vegetables. This vegetable garden is larger than the vegetable garden at Grandma Chi's home. It is estimated that this is a private plot opened by old man Chi himself. At the foot of the mountain, there aren't so many details. There are several rows of cucumbers, including early beans, late beans, green beans, tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers. There were a lot of loofahs climbing on the surrounding fences, and there were green pumpkins on the ground. Oops, no wonder old man Duo Chi is so generous. He can't eat all the food grown here. He Tian picked vegetables. It was a bit late today, so she stopped pulling weeds. Tomorrow she would help old man Chi tidy up the vegetable garden. He Tian picked back a large basket of things and said with a smile, Grandpa Chi, Your vegetable garden is so big, there are a lot of things in it. If you can't finish it, I can pick it for you, pickle it, and dry it in the sun in winter. It's best used for stews. The winter in Kijia village is very humid but very cold. There are no fresh vegetables, only stored cabbage and radishes. Dried vegetables dried in the summer are a good thing. Okay, old man Chi laughed so hard that his breathing trembled. If you can't finish it, you can take some back. Uncle Chi, those cucumbers are good. I'll get a few later. Aunt Lu was not polite. She just happened to put some salt in the cold dish when she got home in the evening. These tomatoes are pretty good. Let me get 2 tomatoes. Tian didn't want to be special, so she imitated Aunt Lu and said, Grandpa Chi, it's still early and I have nothing to do. Why don't I make one for you? For dinner, thank you for giving me 2 persimmons. Old man Chi was very happy. Just now he was worried about how to speak, and this little girl took the initiative to help. Yes, you have a vision. Haha, I'll trouble you then. Old man Chi said, if you have anything to do in the future, just say it. As long as I, an old man, can talk to you, I will definitely help you. Thank you, Grandpa Chi. Tian said crisply, having another helper. For Tian, cooking is the easiest thing to do. Since there were so many vegetables, when Tian helped old man Chi stew the eggplants, he conveniently put a few pancakes on the side of the pot, which are Uncle Chi's staple food. Adding the wild vegetables and 2 cold dishes of cucumber, old man Chi's dinner was ready. Old man Chi was very happy. Although Aunt Lu usually cooked for him, she was not as good as Tian and the taste was not as good. Aunt Lu had finished her work over there, and Tian had finished her work here and followed Aunt Lu back to the village. On the first day of work, it was successfully completed and was recognized by Old Man Chi and Aunt Lu, laying a solid foundation for future work. For several days, Tian completely adapted to the current rural life. Work at sunrise and rest at sunset. Although a little tired, it is nothing compared to the joy in my heart and the hope for the future. When the wild jujubes became sweet, Tian, carrying half a basket of wild jujubes, a few cucumbers and tomatoes, came over to visit the educated youths who had settled down. Along the way, he met some villagers, some whom Tian knew, so he took the initiative to say hello. Those he didn't know also smiled and did not ignore others. Young people from the city were eating on a few big rocks at the door of the settlement, talking and laughing while eating. Huang Jingli saw Tian coming over and hurriedly waved, Tian, come over here and sit down. Who is this? A sister next to her, who was probably around 20 years old, turned around and asked. She didn't look like a girl from the village. She was neatly dressed and had fair skin. She looked more like an educated youth than them. Huang Jingli smiled and said, Sister Wu, she is also from the city and came with us. But we couldn't live here, so Secretary Chi arranged for Tian to live with a fellow villager. The fellow villager also liked her very much. Tian, so Tian lives there. Tian put down the basket, saw everyone looking at her, and said generously, Hello, brothers and sisters, I am Tian, I am from Nanji, please take care of me in the future. Since they were all young people from the city, others did not embarrass Tian. Besides, Tian was so polite. Her brother and sister shouted and brought food. The male educated youth chuckled, while the female educated youth was more enthusiastic about Tian. The educated youth, who was called Sister Wu, smiled and said, after all, she comes from a big place, so she is polite. Huh. You can just come and play, why do you bring a basket? Tian opened the cloth covering the basket and said, there is nothing good. I just saw this kind of jujube when I was mowing the grass a few days ago, so I picked it back. Grandma Chi said that these are wild jujubes, and they will become sweet after a few days, it's delicious, so I gave some to my brothers and sisters. Jujube, that's a good thing, it's delicious. Comrade, he is interested. My surname is Wang, just call me Wang Lei from now on, said an older man. His name is Wang Lei, and he came here 2 years ago. Because he has been here for a long time and is in a relatively senior grade, everyone respects him and acts like a big brother. Brother Wang Lei, he Tian said, since it tastes good, I'll go wash it and let's eat together. Since he Tian came over, everyone was talking and laughing around he Tian. Lin Xiru looked at he Tian's fair face and arms, which were whiter than hers. In the past few days, Lin Xiru had fallen behind several times while working, and her skin was tanned. There were red marks cut from corn leaves on her face, neck, and hands. Tian, you are so lucky. If you have a good relationship with the fellow villagers, you can get easy work. Lin Xiru looked envious. Everyone is from the city and from the same place. Why can he Tian do this? Live better than them. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 27. Lin Xiru just couldn't see that he Tian was living a better life than her, and deliberately provoked a relationship between he Tian and other young people from the city. Everyone was stunned by Lin Xiru's words. Although they didn't say anything, they felt in their hearts that Tian's work was easier than theirs. If he were at this age in his previous life and being looked at by such an adult, he Tian might have been nervous, timid, and would not explain. But now she has changed a lot, and with so many years of life experience, she knows how to change her situation. Sister Xiru was joking. It's not easy being in the animal husbandry team. You have to clean cows' heads, pig pens, and sheep pens morning and night, and move all the smelly feces into the septic tank. There are flies and mosquitoes everywhere. And go to the back mountain to cut grass, not only to prepare the current grass, but also to prepare hay for the cattle and sheep to eat in winter. Aunt Lu and I have to go to the mountain to cut grass several times a day, he Tian explained. Her job wasn't easy, and it was dirty. Everyone had also been to the livestock team and knew the conditions there. Thinking of the smelly excrement there, they suddenly lost their appetite. Some young people from the city understood that he Tian was not lying and that life there was indeed not easy. Looking at your skin being so white, it doesn't look like you've been working for a few days. I thought your job was easier, Lin Xiru explained nonchalantly, without apologizing, directing the topic to he Tian's skin, which didn't look like working. Everyone else has turned dark, but he Tian has not changed. She seems to look better than before. God is so unfair, Lin Xiru felt unhappy. He Tian didn't look at Lin Xiru, but smiled and said to other young women from the city who were more concerned about her skin's lack of tan, it's actually very simple. When I work, I wear a straw hat and cover my face with a towel. At noon, after you come back in the evening, there will be a towel soaked in cold water and applied to the face. This can reduce the degree of tanning and moisturize the skin. You can also try it. Is this really useful? Sister Wu asked hurriedly. It works. If you don't believe me, you can try it, he Tian smiled. In fact, she wanted to tell them to put cucumbers on their faces, but thinking about the lack of material at this time, if they did so, it would be considered a waste. Lin Xiru ate in silence. He Tian had both sides and was so kind to that old woman. The old woman must have given he Tian a benefit. Otherwise, he Tian would never have been so kind to that old woman without any relationship. Another idle young man from the city, Zhang Qingshan, just couldn't stand Lin Xiru's squeamish attitude. He didn't eat less than others. When he was working, he said he had no energy and fell behind every time, so he asked her to work with her. Ye Xiaoun did a lot more work. Zhang Qingshan was unhappy because Ye Xiaoun was his girlfriend. He didn't feel good about Lin Xiru for leaving his girlfriend behind. I have worked in the animal husbandry team for a few days before. The old man Qi has a bad temper, and the place is smelly and dirty. It is really not easy. Zhang Qingshan glanced at Lin Xiru. After we finish our work, we can let's take a break, but comrade He Tian, all year round, as long as the livestock team has livestock, they have to work and clean every day. If you don't work, you won't get work points. If you work, you will get work points. Lin Xiru knew that Zhang Qingshan didn't like her, so he said these words just to make her face look bad. Haha, some people can't get full work points even if they go to work. It's useless, Zhang Qingshan said coldly, whoever works with him will be unlucky. If brother Wang Lei hadn't been mediating, the quarrel would have started long ago. You. Lin Xiru stood up angrily and glared at Zhang Qingshan. You, don't bully others too much. Zhang Qingshan did not give in and said, who is bullying others too much? If you can't work by yourself, you just know that this job is not good, that job is less, and you can't do as much. Tell me, who is not better than you these days? You did more. Wow. Lin Xiru couldn't say anything and ran back crying. Huang Jingli hurriedly chased after them to comfort them, not caring that He Tian came to see them. Ignore her, she will be pretentious, Zhang Qingshan said. Xiaoun is in a group with her. Those who have been dragged down by her these past few days are already tired and sick. This Lin Xiru is really not a thing. They rush to her as soon as she comes. Fortunately, the young people from other cities have sharp eyes. Lin Xiru is asking for trouble, and he really agrees with what he said. You bitch is just hypocritical. After He Tian heard this, he suddenly remembered that Zhang Qingshan and Ye Xiaoun were from the same place, they were classmates, and they were childhood sweethearts. They were now lovers, and they were waiting to get married when they went home for the new year at the end of the year. But later Ye Xiaoun was raped by a second-rate man from the next village. Ye Xiaoun was humiliated and couldn't bear the pressure, so he committed suicide by jumping into the river. In the previous life, Zhang Qingshan, Ye Xiaoun and Lin Xiru didn't deal with them. When she saw Lin Xiru's sinister eyes just now, she had some vague guesses in her heart. Maybe Ye Xiaoun's humiliation in her previous life was not accidental. For the sake of Zhang Qingshan speaking for her today, He Tian decided to pay more attention to Ye Xiaoun in the future, hoping to prevent the tragedy from happening. Okay, Qingshan, you are a man, why bother with a woman? Wang Lei said. Since Huang Jingli and Lin Xiru have a good relationship, let them work as a team, and your Xiaoqing will be free. When Zhang Qingshan saw Big Brother saying this, he couldn't say anything else. Humph, Li Mingkai took the rice bowl and left, muttering, targeting a lesbian, what's the point? You. Zhang Qingshan was furious and was very reluctant to go up and beat Li Mingkai. This person was not a good person either. Working with him would be like a bitch. I didn't say anything about him before. Zhang Qingshan was really tired today. After saying a few words to him, Li Mingkai actually said something back. Qingshan, stop talking. Wang Lei stopped him. If he kept talking, the young people who came to the city today would not want peace at all. Seeing this, He Tian quickly said, I'm sorry, I didn't know that me coming here would make everyone unhappy. I just think that we are all young people from the city who responded to the call and came from all over the world to support rural construction. Everyone, we should unite, work hard, and build a better life together. He Tian's words were righteous, generous, and powerful, in stark contrast to Li Mingkai and Lin Xiru. Except for Li Mingkai, Lin Xiru, and Huang Jingli, everyone else thought He Tian said it well. You're right, we all come from all over the world, and we should unite more. Wang Lei said, if we have any opinions, we privately tell village chief Qi not to have conflicts. After all, we all live together, and we don't look up when we look down. I understand, Zhang Qingshan said, not as knowledgeable as Li Mingkai. Sister Wu shared the jujubes brought by He Tian to everyone, including Lin Xiru, Huang Jingli, and Li Mingkai in the room. Lin Xiru was only angry because it was because of He Tian's arrival that she quarreled with other young people from the city, so she threw the jujubes out of the window. Huang Jingli and Li Mingkai were reluctant to part with them and ate them secretly. When Sister Wu saw Lin Xiru acting like a young lady, she threw away the jujubes, picked them up and ate them herself without saying anything. This is not a home. Everything that is edible cannot be wasted. With Lin Xiru's temperament, she would not cherish food until she was hungry in the end. He Tian got acquainted with other young people from the city. These people were much better than Huang Jingli and Lin Xiru. They agreed to come over often and left. Thank you very much. I have too many things going on at home and I don't have time to interact with you all. Updates will be added gradually in the future. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Xing Cao. Chapter 28. On the way back, the little devil in He Tian's heart jumped out. Lin Xiru, Huang Jingli, let you bully me in my previous life. Now I finally get revenge. However, if Lin Xiru is still like this, He Tian will be more vengeful and will not let her go so easily. If people don't offend me, I won't offend them. If people offend me, I will dig up her family's ancestral grave. He Tian thinks the sentence is too right, and she will not easily let go of anyone who hurts her. Repaying kindness with kindness and revenge with hatred, it's very satisfying. He Tian hummed a little song while walking, and everything changed according to her own arrangements. This is a good start. Looking at the familiar village in front of her, He Tian felt much more at ease. Things are in the hands of people, and she can change everything. Extreme joy leads to sorrow. Just when the path turned, He Tian almost bumped into someone. When she looked up, it turned out to be Qi Jiangguo. It's really haunting. He Tian turned sideways and wanted to pass by Qi Jiangguo. She didn't have the ability to deal with Qi Jiangguo yet, so she could only avoid Qi Jiangguo. Tian, where have you been? I just went to the third grandmother's house and didn't see you, Qi Jiangguo said softly, looking at He Tian with a shy and gentle look. He Tian felt sick when she heard such a voice. In her previous life, how could she think that Qi Jiangguo was a good person? This is too obvious, isn't it? Comrade Jiangguo, please call me comrade, He Tian said, and after that, she ran away quickly without waiting for Qi Jiangguo to answer. Qi Jiangguo was surprised and touched his face. Although his legs were disabled, he basically couldn't see it if he didn't walk fast. Because of his good looks, he was also famous in several surrounding villages. The girls and young wives in the villages would blush and be shy when they saw him. Why is it useless when it comes to He Tian? Qi Jiangguo looked down on ordinary farm girls and always wanted to find a fair-skinned, beautiful, and literate city girl. It's just that the educated youths at the educated youth point are ordinary looking, and he doesn't like them. When he saw He Tian for the first time, he fell in love with this weak and beautiful city girl. But this He Tian didn't say a word to him, and it's better to be polite to Qi Ergu. Oh, if he had known that it was He Tian's group, he would have rushed to go, and he could have cared about He Tian at the first time, approached He Tian, and left a good impression, so he wouldn't be unable to approach He Tian now. However, He Tian is young after all, and there is plenty of time to pursue her in the future. There is nothing that Qi Jiangguo can't do in the territory of Qijia village. He Tian, this little white rabbit, will definitely fall into the trap he carefully designed. He Tian hurried home, and her face was red with excitement. Sweet girl, Secretary Qi's daughter came just now and asked if you want to send a letter. Grandma Qi-san said, Village Chief Qi will go to a meeting tomorrow. If you want to send a letter, give it to him and he will help you send it. He Tian calmed down her irritability. After hearing what Grandma Chi-san said, she smiled, and said, my parents told me to write a letter to my family as soon as I got there, so that they wouldn't worry. I have already written the letter and will send it to Secretary Chi and ask him to help me send it. Hey, you are so young, how can I not worry? Grandma Chi-san said, we have heard about what happened in the city, it's a bit chaotic. You should also pay attention to the letters you write. Grandma Chi-san's family was a landlord before liberation. Later, they took the initiative to surrender the land, and they did not do anything to oppress the people. They also actively resisted the Japanese and donated food at the beginning, so they were not affected too much after liberation. However, when Grandma Chi-san saw other landlords, some of whom died because they couldn't hold on, she was very scared and lived cautiously, so she is safe and sound now. She used her life experience to remind He Tian, hoping that she would not write anything out of line in the letter and get into trouble. He Tian was grateful and accepted the kindness of Grandma Chi-san, saying, I know, Grandma Chi. I just reported to my family that I was safe, and I didn't say anything out of line. That's good, you go quickly, don't wait until dark. Grandma Chi-san urged He Tian to go quickly. He Tian took the letter with the oil ticket and went to the home of village chief Chi. Sister Tian, you are here. My father is eating in the house. Chi Xiaoyan is the youngest daughter of Chi Dazu, innocent and naive. In her previous life, she was abandoned by Li Mingkai and became pregnant. She couldn't stand the gossip in the village, so she jumped into the river and committed suicide. Thank you, Xiaoyan. He Tian smiled, took a handful of sour dates to Chi Xiaoyan, and went into the house. Secretary Chi saw He Tian coming and asked with a smile, Tian girl, are you tired working in the animal husbandry team? He Tian smiled and said, not tired, I can do it. Grandpa Chi and Aunt Lu took care of me because I was young and let me do some light work. They are very caring for me. That's good, Secretary Chi said. He arranged it this way because he hoped that one more person would go there and reduce Uncle Chi's work, killing two birds with one stone. Village Chief Chi, this is the letter I wrote. The oil coupon has been affixed. Just put it directly in the mailbox of the post office, He Tian said, handing in her own letter. In the letter, I report my safety to my parents and tell them the address of Kijia village so that they can write to me when they are free. That's the way it should be. Liang Hongyu, the wife of village chief Chi, said with emotion, a mother worries about her son when he is away from home. Xiao Yan's second brother went to work in the city. I can't receive Xiao Yan's second brother's letter for a long time. I miss him so much that I can't eat well or sleep well. Liang Hongyu's tone was distressed, but more of it was pride. Nowadays, working in the city is an honorable job in the countryside and is envied by everyone. Liang Hongyu is indeed proud. He Tian echoed, my mother also often said that if you raise a child to be 100 years old, you will always worry about 99. My second brother is away from home, busy at work, and has made many meritorious deeds. It is glorious. You are also respected as military relatives. Everyone is envious of you. A few words made Liang Hongyu excited. This girl really knows how to talk. Have you eaten yet? Stay and eat together. Liang Hongyu couldn't boast, and felt secretly happy, so she invited He Tian to have dinner at home. He Tian refused with a smile and said, no, Grandma Chi and I have already eaten. Grandma Chi is old, eats late, and sleeps uncomfortable, so we have been eating very early. Don't disturb Secretary Chi, Auntie, it's time to eat, I'll go back first. He Tian put the letter on the table, said goodbye, and left. Chi Xiaoyan sent He Tian to the door and said, Sister Tian, the jujubes you brought are so sweet and delicious. I still have it there. If you want to eat, come to me tonight. He Tian said, it's getting dark, so I won't talk anymore. I'm leaving. Let's play together when we have time. Okay, Chi Xiao Yan said happily. She graduated from junior high school and was about to go to high school, but the county school was closed, so she had to go home. Chi Xiao Yan's father is the village chief and has a detached status in the village. She has been studying, so except for her classmate Chi Fang Fang, who is not familiar with the girls in the village, she has no other friends. Now with He Tianation's silent guidance, she and Chi Xiao Yan have a common topic, otherwise they wouldn't meet much, but they have become friends with whom they can talk a few words. I finished my home affairs and went home last night. I will update twice today and will update twice tomorrow. Thank you readers for your support. Keep asking for votes. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Xing Cao. Chapter 29. The reason why Chi Xiao Yan and Chi Fang Fang have a good relationship is that they study in the county together. Going back and forth together, there is a companion on the road. However, Chi Fang Fang is very smart. Liang Hongyu often whispers in Chi Xiao Yan's ear, asking her to be careful of Chi Fang Fang. As an obedient and good child, Chi Xiao Yan and Chi Fang Fang's relationship is not as good as imagined. Now that she is not studying, Chi Fang Fang and Chi Xiao Yan will not see each other for 10 days or half a month. The next day, the village chief Chi went to the county, Liang Hongyu went to work, and only Chi Xiao Yan was at home. Chi Fang Fang knocked on the door and shouted, "Xiao Yan, are you home?" As the youngest daughter in the family, the eldest brother got married and moved out, and the second brother worked in a factory in the city and sent his salary back every month. Her father was the village chief, so Chi Xiao Yan did not go out to work like other half-grown children, and she did not have to worry about not being hungry. In addition, Chi Xiao Yan was weaker than ordinary girls, and her family also spoiled her and did not let Chi Xiao Yan go out to work. Village Chief Chi is smart. He originally thought that if his daughter studied hard, she would be able to go to college in the future and become a city dweller, so she wouldn't have to work. But now that she is not allowed to go to college, Village Chief Chi has started to try to find a job quota for his daughter, hoping to spend some money to get a quota so that his daughter doesn't have to suffer from farming in the countryside. Chi Xiao Yan recognized Chi Fang Fang's voice and was also surprised. Since she stopped going to school, the two of them rarely met. I wonder what Chi Fang Fang came here for? Fang Fang, why are you here? Chi Xiao Yan opened the door and let Chi Fang Fang in. It happened that there were some sour dates that He Tian Tian had sent yesterday that she hadn't finished eating, so she took them out and gave them to Chi Fang Fang to eat. Chi Fang Fang is half a head shorter than Chi Xiao Yan, about 1.55 meters tall, with a round face, slender eyes and a little dark skin, but her facial features are still good looking and her figure is plump. She is considered a good girl in the countryside. Chi Fang Fang was not polite. She grabbed a handful and ate a few. Then she smiled and said, "It's hot today. My mother won't let me go to work. I came to play with you." In fact, it was not like that. It was her elder brother who asked her to come. "Oh, it's really hot today," Chi Xiao Yan said, and then she was silent. Chi Fang Fang knew that Chi Xiao Yan was a taciturn person. If she didn't talk, Chi Xiao Yan wouldn't take the initiative to find a topic. In normal times, she wouldn't come to Chi Xiao Yan. It was just that her brother liked the new young people from the city and asked her to find He Tian Tian and get along well with He Tian Tian. But she had never seen He Tian Tian, so how could she rashly go to find that He Tian Tian? When she heard that He Tian Tian came to the home of village chief Chi 2 or 3 times, Chi Fang Fang thought of Chi Xiao Yan. She hoped that Chi Xiao Yan would take her to meet He Tian Tian so that they could get along better in the future. "Xiao Yan, you saw the young people from the city who came to your house yesterday. Did they come to see you?" Chi Fang Fang asked Chi Xiao Yan while eating dates. Chi Xiao Yan is an honest child. She nodded and said, "Sister Tian Tian is not here to see me. She is here to ask my dad to help her mail a letter." Sister Tian Tian? Chi Xiao Yan called He Tian Tian Sister Tian Tian, which shows that she has a good relationship with He Tian Tian. She came to find Chi Xiao Yan this time, and she found the right person. Hey, those little girls in the village don't talk to us. I am very lonely in the village like you. You and Sister Tian Tian have a good relationship. When we are free, let's go to Sister Tian Tian to play together, okay, Chi Fang Fang said with a smile, expressing her thoughts. With a middleman, it won't seem so deliberate for her to become friends with He Tian Tian. Chi Xiao Yan was suspicious. She often heard her mother say that Chi Fang Fang and her family would not get up early without profit. Now Chi Fang Fang came to her specifically, hoping to become friends with He Tian Tian. I wonder what Chi Fang Fang is thinking? Noticing Chi Xiao Yan's eyes, Chi Fang Fang cursed in her heart, how did this idiot become smart today? In the past, Chi Xiao Yan would listen to whatever she said. Haha, I'm not afraid of you laughing at me. I also have selfish motives. Chi Fang Fang lowered her head and whispered, I saw He Tian Tian from a distance before. Her skin is so white, her hair is so black, and she is so beautiful. I envy her very much, so I want to get to know her and ask her how to become whiter and more beautiful. Chi Xiao Yan smiled slightly after hearing this. Chi Fang Fang did often tinker with something on her face, hoping that she could become whiter. Once, I don't know what she did, but her skin was allergic and had a lot of messy red bumps. When I arrived in the county town, I spent a lot of money to see it. I thought Chi Fang Fang had given up these little tricks, but now that I heard it, Chi Fang Fang still didn't give up. But Chi Fang Fang was right. He Tianatian's skin was the best she had ever seen, without spots, and it was tender and watery. Although Chi Xiao Yan was not black, there were a few freckles on her nose, which was far worse than He Tianatian's skin. Everyone has a desire for beauty. Chi Xiao Yan also wants to look better. Okay, when Sister Tian Tian stops working, I'll take you to play with her, Chi Xiao Yan said. They have parents and don't have to work, but He Tian Tian is a young person in the city. She has to work here and doesn't have the leisure time they have. Chi Fang Fang's eyes turned, and a plan came to her mind. She said, just because I love beauty, let's go to Sister Tian Tian after dinner, okay? Chi Xiao Yan saw Chi Fang Fang's eagerness, thinking about what He Tian Tian said yesterday that the third grandmother ate early, and it should be no problem to go to He Tian Tian in the evening. Okay, then after dinner, let's go to Sister Tian Tian to play, Chi Xiao Yan agreed. She rarely went out to play with others. Since Chi Fang Fang was with her, she also wanted to go out to play. Thank you, Xiao Yan, you are so kind, Chi Fang Fang praised, and chatted with Chi Xiao Yan for a while before leaving. At noon, Chi Jiangguo came back from work and was unhappy to see his sister at home. He asked his sister not to work because he wanted her to go play with He Tian Tian and get close to He Tian Tian, but her sister was always at home and didn't help him. Didn't I tell you to go find He Tian Tian, Chi Jiangguo said angrily, with a bad look on his face. All the cloth tickets given by his grandmother were given to Chi Fang Fang to make clothes, but this damn girl didn't help him with his work. Seeing that her brother was back, Chi Fang Fang quickly poured water for him and said, "Brother, drink a glass of water. I never did what I promised you. It's just that I don't know He Tian Tian, so I went to find He Tian Tian rashly. She didn't pay any attention to me. Besides, I was too enthusiastic. Maybe she thought I was trying to guard against me." After hearing his sister's explanation, Chi Jiangguo relieved himself slightly and asked, "Then what do you want to do?" Chi Fang Fang smiled like a little fox and said, "Haha, it's very simple. He Tian Tian and Chi Xiao Yan know each other, so I will ask Chi Xiao Yan to take me to find He Tian Tian, so that we can get to know each other naturally." Chi Jiangguo listened and nodded, "Yes, you know how to use your brain when doing things. Brother, Your sister has always been very smart. Okay, Chi Fang Fang said unhappily, don't worry, this sister-in-law will also help you get her back. Wow, haha, it's 2 updates. There will be 2 updates tomorrow, so remember to vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 30. Chi Jiangguo also knew that it was very inappropriate to approach a lesbian from the city rashly now. If He Tian was cornered, it would be very troublesome to accuse him of being a hooligan, so he took a roundabout way to let his sister get close to He Tian. It would be justifiable for him to meet with He Tian in the future. Chi Jiangguo was very happy. His sister had grown up and was a smart girl. She was worthy of being his sister. My love for you is not in vain, Chi Jiangguo said. When He Tian becomes your sister-in-law, I will give you a pair of leather shoes. Chi Jiangguo is very confident and is determined to win He Tian. Brother, you have to keep your word, Chi Fang Fang said excitedly. She had wanted a pair of leather shoes for a long time, and Chi Xiaoyan had a pair. It's just that her parents are tight on money and won't buy it for her. Her brother now wants something from her, and Chi Fang Fang thinks she can get these leather shoes. Nature speaks for itself, Chi Jiangguo promised. He saw He Tian several times in the village. Every time he saw He Tian, he would wear different clothes and different styles. It can be seen that He Tian's family is in good condition. If he catches up with He Tian, then He Tian's things will belong to him. Plus the things in his hands, he will be the richest in Qijia village. Chi Fang Fangzi said that the reason why she has so much confidence is that her brother is very good and can repair tractors and flashlights. He is very good, and he is good looking. Girls from 10 miles and 8 villages will blush when they see her brother. Many matchmakers came to propose marriage, but the eldest brother did not agree and looked down on girls from the countryside. As for Chi Jiangguo's bad legs, he was ignored by Chi Fang Fang. The Chi family has always been so conceited. In the evening, He Tian had dinner, took a bath, and held a cattail leaf fan in the yard to fan herself while chatting with Grandma Chi about home affairs. Chi Xiaoyan came with Chi Fang Fang. Grandma Chi San smiled and said, "Why did you two come here together?" Grandma Chi San used to have only one person in her family, and it was rare for younger people to come to her place. "Third Grandma, we are here to play with Sister Tian," Chi Xiaoyan whispered. "Did I interrupt your conversation?" "No, no," Grandma Chi San shook the old cattail leaf fan in her hand, "we are just chatting." "Sweet girl, go bring 2 stools into the house and sit together to cool down. When people come, the house becomes more lively. Grandma Chi San likes people to come to her house to play." "Hey," He Tian moved into the room and moved 2 stools, "sit, sit." When he went to move the stool in the house, He Tian took several deep breaths before he could control his emotions. Chi Fang Fang. In addition to Chi Jiangguo and Chi's mother, Chi Fang Fang ranks 3rd in He Tian's little book of grudges, Chi Jiangguo's father ranks 4th, and Chi Jiangguo's grandmother ranks 5th. Fortunately, the old godly woman in the previous life died early, otherwise Wei Tian will also suffer. Although the house was given to Chi Fang Fang by her, the things dug out of the house did not belong to Chi Fang Fang. If Chi Fang Fang is upright, those things should be given to her. However, He Tian also knew that her thoughts were very childish, but because of Chi Fang Fang's selfishness, He Tian could continue to hate her without any psychological burden. Now that there is a chance to meet again, He Tian will naturally not let Chi Fang Fang go. This sister-in-law in her previous life was also round and chubby. She always thought about how to become beautiful, but the longer she grew, the uglier she became. She deserved it. It really lives up to that saying, ugly people often cause mischief. Sister Tian Tian, my name is Chi Fang Fang, and I am Chi Xiao Yan's good friend. Chi Fang Fang smiled. I knew you were very good looking when I saw you from a distance, but now that I have seen you up close, I find that you are even more beautiful than I imagined. He Tian Tian smiled shyly. Two little red clouds appeared on her face at the right time, and whispered, "Thank you, it's not as beautiful as you said." Seeing He Tianation's shy and youthful expression, Chi Fang Fang felt more confident. This is an ordinary little girl who is definitely no match for her smart brother. He Tian Tian will be her sister-in-law sooner or later. I'm telling the truth. If you don't believe me, ask their grandma and Xiao Yan. Chi Fang Fang said warmly, insisting that she was telling the truth and that He Tian Tian looked good looking. It's very beautiful. Grandma Chi San and Chi Xiao Yan nodded. Did you see it? Chi Fang Fang said, everyone says you are good looking. Your skin is so white. Is there any secret? You see, I am dark. I have always wanted to become white, but there has never been a good way. Chi Fang Fang is really good at chatting. Like Chi Jiangguo, she can talk to anyone she meets. Actually, it's nothing. If you want to become whiter, wear a straw hat when you go out. When you work, put a towel around your face and wear a straw hat. After returning home, use a wet towel to apply cold compress for a while, and the skin will become whiter. If you tan, it will turn white over time. He Tian Tian repeated the maintenance words she had said to Huang Jingli and Sister Wu before. This method can indeed relieve sunburned skin. He Tian Tian didn't lie. As for other beauty methods, He Tian Tian is not willing to tell others. You heard me? When you go out, wear a straw hat and a towel to cover your face. Although it is hot, it can protect your skin. Grandma Chi San said. What the three little girls talked about reminded her of her own words when she was a teenager. I care a lot about my appearance. If I tan a little, I worry about whether I will look ugly. I bought a lot of rouge and gouache, took care of my skin, wore nice clothes, lived in a big house, and had maids and women to take care of me. The life she lived at that time was the happiest day in her life. I will do what Sister Tian Tian said from now on. Chi Fang Fang said, I can't tan anymore, otherwise I will turn into a black iron egg. Haha. Grandma Chi San said, Fang Fang is so funny. She loves beauty so much. Does she have a sweetheart? After hearing this, Chi Fang Fang quickly shook her head and said, no. Third grandma, don't say that. Haha. Grandma Chi San laughed. The little girl thought she was hiding her thoughts well, but in fact, everything was written on her face. Women want their appearance to please them. If there is no one they like, girls will not pay so much attention to their appearance. Dressing yourself up beautifully is just to please your sweetheart. If you don't have that person, no matter how beautiful you are, who can you show it to? Chi Xiao Yan said nothing and snickered from time to time. One night, there was Chi Fang Fang's gag, and the four of them were talking and laughing, but they felt comfortable. It was getting dark outside, so Chi Xiao Yan and Chi Fang Fang said goodbye and left. After He Tian Tian locked the door and came back, Grandma Chi San hesitated again, and finally thought that He Tian Tian had been really good to her in the past few days. If she had a biological daughter or granddaughter, she might not be so considerate. Tian Tian, Xiao Yan has a simple temper, and the adults in the family have good intentions. You can play with Xiao Yan more. As for Fang Fang, that child is quite lively, but her family's reputation in the village is not very good. Okay. You should be careful in the future and don't suffer any disadvantages. Grandma Chi San persuaded, hoping that He Tian Tian would listen to her advice. Double update today. Please vote. Thanks for the tip. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 31. After hearing what Grandma Chi San said, He Tian Tian was deeply moved. Her hard work was not in vain. I remember, Grandma Chi. He Tian Tian agreed, When Chi Fang Fang comes to play with me, I will chat with her. If she asks me to go to his house, I will not go. If she asks me to do anything, I will also find an excuse to refuse. Well, be careful in everything, Grandma Chi-san said, stood up and went into the house with a cane to sleep. He Tian returned to her room, closed her eyes and lay down. Grandma Chi-san, Chi Xiaoyan believed that Chi Fang Fang came to ask for a whitening method, but he Tian didn't believe it, especially after she had spoken harshly to Chi Jiangguo. She didn't believe anyone in Chi Fang Fang's family. If you change the angle of the same thing, you will see a different side and the truth. Since Chi Jiangguo still wants to treat her as a fool like in his previous life, then she doesn't mind making Chi Jiangguo and Chi Fang Fang's family fools. After Chi Fang Fang returned home, she saw her eldest brother and praised him. Brother, you have a good eye. He Tian is beautiful, timid, gentle, and hard-working. Grandma Chi-san's house is clean and tidy. Chi Jiangguo was proud and said, the girl I like is naturally not bad. He Tian met his requirements in all aspects, so he had to get He Tian no matter what. Also, I saw that He Tian's clothes were all dacron, with small floral patterns. She came from a good family in the city. Chi Fang Fang said, logically speaking, He Tian's family is good, and she shouldn't be sent to the countryside to be a young person from the city at such a young age. Those young people from the city, although they dress more beautifully than ordinary people, can only go home once a year after leaving their hometowns, and some may not be able to buy train tickets. If they can't buy tickets, they can't go home. In Chi Fang Fang's eyes, the lives of young people from the city are pitiful. However, she only dared to think about these words in her heart, and dared not say them out loud. She left her hometown and suffered. Yes, I saw that she had several boxes of gifts that day. Her family was well off, Chi Jiangguo said, but that was in the past. It may not be the case now. Just like you said just now, if her family had nothing to do, she would not have come to the countryside at such a young age. Chi Fang Fang's eyes lit up when she heard this, and she said, brother, if that's what you said, then this matter has great potential. Of course, Chi Jiangguo said, learn from it in the future, but I can marry a young man from the city, but you can't marry a young man from the city. You will suffer. In Chi Jiangguo's concept, women and men are different. Women will not leave home after getting married, but men can abandon everything for their future. He can't let his sister suffer. Hearing her brother say this, Chi Fang Fang blushed and quickly retorted, brother, what are you talking about? How old am I? I don't have anyone I like. Just 2 days ago, a young man from the city came to the door and heard a melodious piano sound. In the past, the music teacher in their school also played the accordion. She couldn't help but go to have a look, and saw a young man from the city who looked no less than her brother, Li Mingkai, who was also from the same group as He Tian. That night, Chi Fang Fang had a dream. Li Mingkai played the piano, and she danced, very happy, very beautiful. That's good. Chi Jiangguo looked at Chi Fang Fang meaningfully. Well, did you get any information while chatting over there? Chi Fang Fang thought for a while and said, except for learning from Xiao Yan that He Tian wrote a letter to her family and asked Secretary Chi to help mail the letter, there was no other useful information. I mentioned He Tian's hometown several times, but He Tian always dismissed it lightly and didn't ask about He Tian's family. I was surprised that He Tian acted very timid and shy, but I found that she was very careful in what she said and did. Chi Jiangguo thought of the day when he talked to He Tian at close range, and He Tian didn't say a word to him, as if there was a festival. But in fact, although he had met He Tian once or twice, he didn't do anything excessive in his actions and words, and he didn't know why He Tian was like this. Chi Jiangguo was confused and knew nothing, but He Tian remembered the lies, deception, and resentment of her previous life, and could not face Chi Jiangguo calmly. The root cause of He Tian's tragedy in her previous life was herself, and He Tian never denied this from beginning to end. While she hated herself, she also hated the deception and conspiracy of the Chi family. She could not mutilate herself to apologize, so she could only transfer all her resentment to the Chi family, which would strengthen her fighting spirit to survive here. Not for anything else, just for revenge. Letter. Chi Jiangguo thought of a good way, maybe he could start with this letter. All the letters received in the village were addressed to his second uncle Chi Shulai, and then given to the villagers. If he told his second uncle, considering that his second uncle had no son in his family and treated him as his son, and expected him to take care of him in his old age, his second uncle would surely agree to him. The more Chi Jiangguo thought about it, the more he felt that the matter was feasible, and he was going to ask his second uncle for help in the next 2 days. When Chi Shulai saw his nephew saying that he liked the young city girl named He Tian Tian, he secretly felt that his nephew had a good eye. Since his nephew liked her, he would help him, and he also expected his nephew to take care of him in his old age. With the help of his second uncle, Chi Jiangguo's self-confidence soared. He Tian Tian was still young, and there was a long way to go. He must catch up with this thorny little beauty. Chi Jiangguo, who has read books, understands that haste makes waste. Even when he saw He Tian Tian in the village, he didn't come up to talk much. He just smiled lightly every time. But every time He Tian Tian turned his head, pretending not to see, let alone taking the initiative to deal with Chi Jiangguo, which made Chi Jiangguo feel a little frustrated. From then on, Chi Fangfang often came over to play with Chi Xiaoyan, talking and laughing, and was not at all as shrewd as she was in front of Chi Jiangguo. Chi Xiaoyan will not be wary of Chi Fangfang, but He Tian Tian will not let down her guard. After Chi Fangfang felt familiar enough with He Tian Tian, she no longer called Chi Xiaoyan to come with her, but came alone. Sometimes I get some apples, sometimes a few pieces of candy. Naturally, these things were not bought by Chi Fangfang, but given by others when Chi Jiangguo was repairing tractors and other machines outside. Finally one day, Chi Fangfang and Chi Jiangguo were walking home. They saw He Tian Tian and said, "Sister Tian Tian, I met you by such a coincidence. Everyone went back to eat, why did you run to the back mountain?" He Tian Tian smiled and didn't want to say more. "I left my water bottle with the animal husbandry team. I'll go get it." "Sister Tian Tian, my brother has a bicycle. He can carry you faster and save you from going there on a hot day." "It's quite tiring," Chi Fangfang said. "Brother, go and see Sister Tian Tian off. Don't let her get exposed. This is a great opportunity, I can't let my brother miss it." "Moi. If you have typos, you can report them in the group."